All right, if you want to start algo trading and you don't have enough money, you need to watch this video. Let's paint a picture, right? Let's say you're 25 years old, you have a 9 to 5 job, you're making $70,000 a year, and you have $10,000 in savings. And you say, Jacob, I want to algo trade. I have $10,000 in the bank. What should I do? Okay. My first response is, well, you can still algo trade in a simulation or paper environment that requires little capital, none to little capital, depending on the platform you use, and build that routine of testing trading systems and running them live and tracking them. Okay, you can do that through a simulation or a demo account, right? My platform that I use, NinjaTrader, I shouldn't say my platform, the platform that I use, NinjaTrader, offers that simulation feature where I can run algos with fake money and not risk my own capital. You still have to deposit money into the brokerage account and pay data fees, which ranges at about $13 to $14 a month. But other than that, I could trade. There's other platforms too that may be free. So you could start with that, right? And do that for a period of time as you save more money from your job that you can eventually pool and trade with live capital safely. Okay, that's my first response. You can always trade with simulation or demo first, and I recommend it, right? You need to get in that routine of running them and seeing the algos run and developing and testing them properly, of course, but also letting them run, tracking them in some type of Excel or Google sheet and get in that routine. Okay, tracking your returns and tracking your individual systems too. Okay, that's my first response. My next response is, okay, you need to evaluate obviously your risk tolerance. You have $10,000 in savings. You probably don't want to trade all that $10,000 because you may need that money as an emergency fund in the future, right? So maybe you decide to say, okay, I'll trade 30% of that. I'll trade with $3,000. And I say, great, that's a good start. That meets your risk tolerance and you can afford to lose $3,000, then go for it. If you can afford to lose that $3,000, then maybe you shouldn't trade any of your money yet and save more, right? And keep working. Okay. So that's the first part. Second part, obviously, okay, you want to start trading more capital. Maybe you've been running your algos for a year or 2 years and you've been doing well, but you need more capital, right? You need more money to make more money. That's how algo trading works. Being capitalized is part of the success. Essentially, you're putting capital to work through trading systems in the day and overnight. And to grow that, you need more capital. So what are your options? Obviously, the safest option is make more money from your primary source of income if you have one, right? That $70,000 job, you could turn that into 100,000, 150, 200. That will skyrocket obviously your primary source income, and then you'll be able to funnel that more of that into your algo trading accounts. Okay. Now I know that's easier said than done. I know the job market's tough. It's not easy to get a new job that pays more, especially, but you're gonna have to put in the work to do that. All right. Go network, go to conferences, go to obviously other than applying online, which is the easiest option, although the less bearing, if that even makes any sense. I know it's easy to apply online on LinkedIn and stuff, but usually you get no response or an automated AI response. Go to conferences that are related to your field. I think that's a great way to network and potentially get new jobs. I think networking is the best way to get new jobs. If you know someone, you know, especially pretty close, your chances of getting a job where they work is much easier to do. Okay, just by that kind of networking effect. So go network, go to conferences, maybe go out to businesses that you admire, and go to their front desk and see if they're hiring. Right, be bold, be different. Getting a higher paying job will help you and being more capitalized with algo trading. Okay, if you can increase that. And once again, I know it's not easy, but if other people can do it, you can do it. So that's one option, getting a higher paying job. Okay. The other option is trading other people's money. Okay. And definitely speak with a lawyer and accountant before you do this on the legalities. I'm not a lawyer. So make sure you research that before you do that. But you could trade other people's money, right? Maybe friends and family, or maybe you could launch your own fund. Okay. That's an option as well. First, we'll start with the friends and family. Once again, obviously, I'd recommend having a 2 to 3 year track record before approaching any friends or family with this idea of trading their money. Okay, make sure you have some results to show and not just, hey, I think about algo trading. Let me trade your money and you have no results. Definitely have some results before you do this to show that you're competent. And make sure you're asking the right people, right? If you know your friends is having your friend or family members having financial difficulty, probably not best to contact them. Okay, know your target audience, and contact friends or family that have extra cash laying around that they're not afraid to lose. Okay, and just be transparent with them. Just say, hey, I'm doing this algo trading thing. Been doing it for 2 years. It's been making money. Does this interest you, right? And then you can go into more details, and obviously let them know that it's risky. They could lose their money. They could lose all their money potentially, depending on your trading systems. But being transparent with them will get them to like you more, okay? And expect a lot of no's, right? A lot of your friends or family members won't be interested. They won't have the money. They're too scared, and that's okay. It's their money, right? They get to decide what to do with it. But that's an option as well, okay? Trade friends and family's money, give them diversified returns, and it could go really well, right? You could make them extra money. They could be happier with your returns and give you more money, etc. That's always an option, and it may not be right for you. Okay, trading other people's money is hard. They have expectations. You now have to deal with what they say. Sometimes they might sway you to make decisions. It's not for everybody. Some people only like trading their own money. Gives them that full control, right? That full discretion of how to run their trading systems. So it may not be right for you trading other people's money. It's not easy, right? It can be very fruitful, but it's not easy. Okay, so using other people's money is the next option, and then there's obviously the fund route where you trade institutional money, either high net worth individuals. Usually start with high net worth individuals, family offices, and then if you raise quite a bit of money, you can start looking at institutions. So that's an option as well. Once again, talk to a lawyer on how to set that up. You're going to have a 2 to 3 year track record with good returns. You're going to have to be licensed depending on your jurisdiction, and you're going to have to fundraise as well. And so it's not easy, but that can be the highest bearing return running a fund. Okay, that's another option for capital. Okay, there's some more risky options as well, which I don't recommend. I don't recommend these options I'm going to talk about, but I do know of some few that have done it. There is, getting a loan from a bank or a credit card. I don't recommend doing this because the interest rates are very high, and to break even, you're going to have to make, say you get a personal loan at 10%, you're going to have to make 10% on that capital to break even for the year. And even that can be hard. You might have a losing year, right? And the chances of you making more than 10% your first year is probably very slim. So I don't recommend getting a loan unless you can secure it at, below 3%, 2-3%, which I don't know how you would do that. You may know more than me. But I don't think anywhere you can get a 2 to 3% loan. Maybe you can get a 2 or 3% loan from a person, right? You make an agreement where they give you capital at 3%, and so you just pay them 3% on however the frequency is, but that's risky as well. Okay, that may not be for you, but if you can negotiate that, hey, you have the capital. Okay, so borrowing, don't really recommend it. And the last subject I want to talk about was prop firms. You may say, Jacob, okay, well, prop firms, what if I pay them $100 a month and they give me $50,000 of capital? These prop firms are not real prop firms. They don't operate how real prop firms operate. They are essentially making you pay to trade with sim money. You're paying them to trade on sim. I don't use them. I don't recommend them. However, if you know someone that's successful with them, cool, go learn from them. Maybe they found a way to make them work, but all their silly rules with drawdowns and trailing drawdowns and daily stops, it makes it impossible to succeed. Their goal is to make you fail, to keep buying their resets. So I don't recommend prop firms. I don't know any one that's incredibly successful that uses them. Every big shot that I know uses their own money or has their own fund where they trade other people's money. Okay. So it's that simple. That's how some ways to get more capital to trade with. If you're struggling, I get it. I know you may be excited to algo trade, but you do need capital to be successful. Okay. And it just may boil down to you waiting longer to save more money, get a higher paying job, so it's less risky for your personal income. Okay. And maybe trading other people's money is not meant for you, right? It's tough. It's not easy. And like I said, they have expectations too. So those are some ways. I would just recap them. First, I talked about you don't have to rush into trading with live money. You could trade it on a simulation or a demo account for a period of time while you save more money, and I recommend that. Take your time with this. The market's always going to be here. I don't think the stock market's going to close, so take your time. It's always going to be here. You get a higher paying job, trade friends and family's money, which is risky. It may not be right for you, but it may work out. Start your own fund, which has a lot of prerequisites and probably the hardest option. Potentially borrow money, which is I don't recommend. And unless you can get a loan under 3%, it's probably not worth it. And then I talked about prop firms and why I don't think they're great and I don't recommend them. Okay. So I hope that helps. I hope that maybe through that you could, muster the way to start making a game plan for yourself. If you want to learn more about algo trading, automated trading systems, quantitative trading systems, see the links in the description below. And let me know in the comments below if you found value in this video. See you next time, guys. Bye-bye.